Hey everybody, it's George Whittam reporting for Whittam's World from NAMM show in Anaheim 2016. And I never missed the Audio-Technica booth, and I'm here with Steve Savigny. Did I say your name right, Steve? I've known you all these years. Savigny, how about that? And he knows these products better than anybody. Steve, will you give us a little bit of a tour contrasting all of these great voiceover and instrument microphones and what makes them all a little bit different from each other?
Well, obviously they're different colors. No, if you look at these microphones, we've got some condenser mics, we've got two ribbons, and we've got a dynamic. So the dynamic microphone is going to give you a flat, good full-bodied response for the guy that's looking for that classic AM radio deep voice type thing that wants to work the microphone really close. Because one of the problems with the condenser mic is it's really sensitive, and if you work it close, even with a pop filter, you can overload the microphone. With this dynamic, you can get right up on it. It's got a huge diaphragm, it's got built-in wind protection, and it doesn't give you a lot of proximity effect. It'll give you a little bit of proximity effect, but not a whole lot. Now let's take a look at the condenser microphones. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 condenser microphones, 5 counting the 5040. The best way to describe these is they all look basically alike because they use the same basic mechanical structure. The 4033 is the one that started it all for Audio-Technica. This microphone is like skim milk. It's got a bright top end. It's going to give you a vocal that's going to punch out in a mix. It's going to give you a lot of articulation. You move into the 4047, that's like whole milk. You know, it's going to give you that rich, smooth, creamy bottom, but not too overwhelming. You move into the 4050. The 4050, that's just like right there. You know, it's not whole milk, it's not cream, but it's right in the middle. It's smooth, it's refreshing, and it's also a multi-pattern microphone. Finally, the 4060s are vacuum tube microphone. And a lot of guys like the sound of a vacuum tube microphone because if you do overload the microphone, what happens is the vacuum tube goes into a soft compression, and it doesn't give you that harsh overload if you do overload the microphone. Finally, next thing down the line, this is kind of weird round shaped guy. This is our 4080 ribbon. That uses a ribbon element as opposed to a condenser element or a dynamic element. What sets our ribbon apart is it's an active ribbon, so it's got electronics in it. It's designed to match the output of the microphone to modern day mixers, modern day channel strips, modern day mic pre's. Where the traditional old ribbon microphones, you know, think back to the days of the old RCA 44Bs, those were really low output microphones that were designed to match to a broadcast console from the 30s and 40s. A lot of guys still use those. I happen to have 2 in my own studio, and they're just amazing microphones. They're in a display case right now.
Right.
The thing about the 4080, it's a ribbon microphone. It's got a large transformer coupled output here in the bottom of the microphone. So it's going to give you the richest, deepest low end. So think of buttermilk. And last but not least, my favorite in the condenser vocal mics is the 5040. The 5040 is unique in the microphone world as it has 4 individual small diaphragm rectangular capsules that work together and sum their outputs into a single large diaphragm type capsule. It's a cardioid microphone, single pattern. It is just the smoothest, most natural articulation, great sounding vocal mic. It's also our boutique mic. It's a $3,000 microphone in our line, but it is amazing. If you're looking for a microphone investment, as we all know, as a voice actor, as a voice artist, the microphone is your tool, it's your instrument. You definitely want your own. That's a great choice to go.
I got a question for you. we have a lot of ladies that are fans, and I have a lot of clients who work with me who are ladies, and they go, everybody tests microphones and it's always men, and they're always comparing it to men's voices. Out of this line, I know this is a very difficult question to answer, but if a lady said, I want a mic that works well with a lady's voice, maybe that's a little bit brighter, a little bit more sibilant, which of these microphones would be a sort of a more obvious choice for many women's voices?
Well, obviously, if they've got the investment, you can't beat the 5040 because it's just so smooth and natural. You walk down to our condenser microphones, the AT4040 or the AT4050 are ideal for women's voice. They got a little bit of a nice rise in the top end without getting too much. So if I've got a woman in the booth, I'll try a 4050 on her, but I'm going to go to my 5040. It's my go-to choice.
Of course. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Good
It's a lot of fun. Good to see you guys.
Every year.
Every year here from the NAMM show.